Greetings to the Conscious Collective. I am on, I am on, I am on. A little bit late. I keep trying to shoot for about 8:15 at the latest, but I get so caught up in what I'm studying, what I'm reading, what I'm about to present, and then I have to kind of shorten it down a little bit. And it goes down so many different rabbit holes. But today we're going to be talking about how they're playing in your face with their palm chakras. Not a lot of people know about the palm chakras. How we doing over here, TikTok? Divine Rising. We have any sound, TikTok? Turn you up a little bit. All right. Not a lot of people know about the palm chakras, but we're going to be talking about the palm chakras today. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Who's with me this morning? Divine Rising, Divine Rising, Divine Rising. Any other greetings? I have a lot of people in here. I guess in these streams, a lot of people don't comment with these live streams, but that's cool. I'm glad you guys are with me. Divine Rising, Divine Rising. I don't think I've seen you here before, Robert, but thank you for joining us. We're going to be talking about the palm chakras. If you saw the top of the thumbnail, they're playing in your face. A lot of us know what that means when we say someone is playing in our face, but those that don't know what that means is that someone is gaslighting you. I guess that would be the easiest way to kind of explain when they're playing in your face is they're gaslighting you. Okay. Oh, I apologize. I apologize. Okay. I apologize. Okay. But I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. Have you been here before? Have you been here before? We usually start with some psychic practices. This is something that we do on Saturdays. Love and light, love and light. It's something we do on Saturdays, 8 o'clock on Saturday Eastern Standard Time. Join the newsletter and I'll send you the link and you can join us on Saturday as we work on our psychic gifts. So we're going to do a little practice now just to warm up, get comfortable with each other. We're going to use the mind reading cards that I use. You guys see the mind reading cards? They are part of my tarot deck, the all-seeing eye. We had a great conversation yesterday about the third eye and the black eye. If you wasn't part of that conversation yesterday, please check out that video about the third eye versus the black eye and how, without getting into too many rabbit holes right now, I think this is going to be a long one today because I got so much on my mind. So hang with me here. You are the ultimate technology. You guys are the ultimate technology. All right. Maybe you want to think of your way as the greatest of all God's creation. You can think of it that way, but you are the ultimate technology. All right. You can't know what you don't know. There's no this. It's just how you gonna know something you don't know. All right. So anything out there, anything that anyone comes up with, anything anyone invents, it is modeled and an imitation, sometimes a poor imitation, off of the ultimate technology, which is you and the creation source. Everything's modeled off of that. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay. You may not be aware of it, but there's nothing new under the sun. So anything that anyone in this realm of reality is creating is somehow modeled off of the original creator, you. That's why you're a co-creator. That's why you're part of the creation. All right. I can't stress enough how you are so part of the whole, that you are so part of all of this, right? And a lot of times they try to convince us that we are such a dispensable part of it, and we're not. And we're not a sin. I don't know. We really got to shake that thought that we are a sin. Okay, that you were born out of sin. That you are a sin when you are the ultimate part of creation, the highest version of creation. So we need to really understand that, and everything is modeled off of you. And so yesterday we talked about the black eye versus the third eye. I gave some examples how a lot of celebrities and politicians and influential people have this left black eye. Some in some part of their career, you eventually see them with this left black eye, and that is a ritual that they're using to duplicate the third eye. All right. Well, let's warm up a little bit. Maybe some of you guys just came here to warm up with the psychic part, and then we're going to get into the discussion. And I have the chakra. Let me break this up. I have this up. This is not the one I should have up right now. Okay. And we'll talk about the chakras, the hand chakras. We are familiar with the 7 chakras, but there are 2 chakras in your hands. And there is a chakra at the base of your skull, which is called the 0 point chakra. We talk about chakras a lot because you are an energetic being, and those things remain. As the flesh and the body decays and goes back to the earth, your energy remains and your chakra system remains. You do not walk around all day long with feet. You operate in energy. And that energy can be light energy or it can be heavy energy. Heavy energy is sometimes referred to, I guess people would think of it as hell. And that's regret, remorse, sorrow. Those are the lower density energies. But when you actually do work to raise your vibration, you operate in higher density energy, which is love, light, hopefulness, right? That's what you might refer to as heaven. So I'm going to pull a card, and you guys tell me what card I am thinking of, okay? These cards have a number on them, a word, and a color, and a shape. Are you guys picking up anything? We're doing a practice called Read My Mind. We start with some warming up psychic practice. We do more on Saturdays. I guess the goal here is to help you step into the next level of you. The old you is gone. Someone said 9. You should join me here on YouTube, but I like the quick response that I get on TikTok because I have to wait. Nicole, once again. All right. But I'll show it right. It is purplish. The number is 50. And the word is spiritual cleansing. And I think it's the symbol is hands. It's the hands me symbol. Okay. Nicole. Very good. Very good, Nicole. Very good. Let's look at another one. You guys are evolving. I like to call my group the collective. Sometimes people call, when they're online, they call it the chat. We are the collective. We are the conscious collective. We are expanding our mind, evolving our energy to step into this new earth that's coming about. Everything's going on is creating a new earth. The lies are being exposed. More and more lies are being exposed, more lies about your religion, your belief system. Some people are getting very, they're very traumatic. They're very, it's hard for them to deal with. all the things that are happening, but it's necessary because I'm looking at a shape that has a number, has a color, has a word. Whatever comes to your mind, please let me know. Somebody I've been working with really diligently is very good at this. Guess who it is? Someone I have been working with and has went through a couple of my mentorship programs and my practices. And this is when you work on your psychic ability, there's a real world application for it, which means your intuition is better, which means that you can tell the truth from lies a lot more. You have a deeper discernment of things. And then the other part, the spiritual part, is that you start to develop some psychic gifts. When you start working on your psychic abilities and working with them, I'm looking at a triangle. A triangle anyway is a triangle. And we're going to be talking about this shape. This shape is important when we talk about how they plan in your face with their palm chakras. Anybody familiar with your palm chakras? Okay. The word was 18 and the number is water. Are you familiar with your palm chakras? Are you familiar with any of your chakras? Or you just heard a little bit about them? You don't really know what they are. I'm going to go through the chakras. Who said hi? Did you get it right? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm looking at a shape. I'm looking at a color and a number. The whole point of this is to prepare you for the new earth. Now, when we talk about the new earth, we're talking about consciousness, right? Your consciousness, your projection can actually create reality. Science has proven that you can create reality by how you perceive things. And so we're preparing people for the new earth with their new consciousness, which means that you operate more in an energetic form. Thank you guys for joining me. If you're on TikTok, come on over here to YouTube. TikTok likes to let me grow over there and then it bans me. And so I'm going to stay on YouTube until they ban me. But I'm hoping to grow our newsletter so we have more of a connection. I read somewhere else that people are going to get tired of the AI and the false narratives on these social media platforms and be forced to go back to interacting with each other in person. All right. I think that would be a good thing. I think that would be a good thing. We have gotten too distant from each other with this social media. We are a collective, a social collective, a conscious collective. We need to have connection with each other. So I hope it does. It all there finagling and social media gatekeeping that people finally get fed up with it. Because they say like it's only 40% of real people on social media. The rest of it's AI and bots and just, fake imagery. So here you go, Nicole. There you go. It is pink. There's a base of a triangle and a flag. Is anyone else here with me working on this? We're going to do one more, and then we're going to go into a conversation of chakras. And then we're going to talk about the topic today of them playing in your face with their palm chakras. Everything is, oh my God, the truth is out here. The truth is in your face. And if you open your eyes, you can see. You don't have to be helpless. You don't have to be helpless. The truth is there for everyone to see. One way that we communicate with divine source is we open ourselves to receiving synchronicities, messages. We have to open ourselves for this. We have to, when I see something, a number, or I see a butterfly, I was talking to someone the other day and a fly landed on I was in my car and a fly landed on my windshield. All right. And I looked up what a fly meant, right? I was on the phone with him, and fly means decay and things. So it was negative. And I knew that relationship that I was talking to this person for the first time would be unproductive. And it turned out to be unproductive, but I was prepared for that because I was open to receiving messages from divine source. Okay. So that's one way. We have to be open to looking at things, to hearing. When you hear that tone in your ear, a lot of people hear that tone in their ear. All right. That is not the message. That is to prepare you that something is coming for you to pay attention to. So when you hear that tone, that's to tell you, I should be paying attention to what happens next. We have to be, see, the universe, God, source, whatever way you want to describe it, is always communicating. Always communicating. Because we need constant guidance. We need our hand held. But we have to be open to receiving that communication. We have to be open to accepting it. Because you can block out anything. You have free will. I'm always amazed how mothers can hear certain sounds from a baby, right? That men find annoying, and mothers can tell different tones in that sound. If the child is wet, hungry, or whatever it may be, right? So they are open to it, where men are blocking it out. So you can block out anything, you can be open to anything, but it's about your free will to whether you want to receive it or not. I'm looking at a shape, a word, a color. What do we think it is? I'm sorry if I'm distracting people, but I have a lot on my mind. I got a lot on my mind. But we have to be open to receiving it. Another way is to be open and to be active in looking. So you can be open to receiving something. I'm going to just be open to it, or you can be actively looking for it. So when I look at movies and I look at everything, I'm actively looking. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to see how the matrix works. I'm trying to see the man behind the curtain. And that's what our topic is going to be about today. Is they're playing in our face with the same power we all have, right? They're playing in our face, but we're not actively seeking. I guess because we're so busy, trying to survive, trying to make love, trying to, figure out other people's business, trying to slander each other, that we don't understand that they're playing in our face. All right, this is the last one. We're going to get into talk about the chakras. It is like a Saturn or a moon with rings around it. And then there is karmic path. And the number is 08. Nicole, you're trying too hard now. You're trying too hard. You have to allow it to flow. Allow it to flow. Allow it to flow. Don't put your own thoughts into. Let the thoughts come to you. All right. So we do more of that on Saturdays. We do about an hour worth of psychic practices. We do an hour work of different psychic practices. We do read my mind. We do precognition cards, and we also do remote viewing. I don't know why I stumbled through all those. I know exactly what we do. So we do remote viewing, where I place the number down, a chip or something down on a number. You tell me what number I place on, and you try to remote view that. Precognition with the Zener cards. I'll show you the Zener cards really quickly. These are the Zener cards that we work with. On Saturdays, right? Join the newsletter and I'll send you the link to that. And we spend all day, well, we spend an hour. I wish we spent all day. We spent about an hour going through different practices to help us develop our psychic abilities, our psychic gifts, and to aid us in being more in tune with the spiritual part of our being. All right. So let's move on. Let's talk about the chakras. If you're not following me on YouTube, please come over to YouTube. This is where I show images at on YouTube. Let me bring it up. Let's talk about the chakra system really quickly. Give me 1 second to get my bearing here on what exactly I'm trying to do. I think I'm trying to do this. There we go. There we go. Thank everyone that participated in that video yesterday, the live we did yesterday. It really started to get interested. It's doing well on YouTube. A lot of the replay is going well. I really feel like that the collective is really coming together and understanding their vital part. I said yesterday that you guys are the reason things are happening. As you raise your energy, as you raise your vibration, you raise your awareness, you are actually exposing things. You don't have to actually do anything except work on yourself. I always say the work is on you, right? But when your light shines, you light up the light for other people. Okay. When you turn on a light, it just doesn't, you're not the only one that can see now. Other people in the room can see. If you turn on the flashlight, other people can see. Your light is what allows things to be exposed. The work you do in expanding your consciousness. What work are you doing? You're just expanding your consciousness, right? You're thinking, you are examining, you are investigating. You're not just taking everything as just truth anymore, right? You're questioning. And a lot of times these religions think that they insist that your questioning is a bad thing because they want to keep you ignorant. I think part of the narrative was the way they reversed it is in the Christian Bible that God wanted you dumb and that your what do they call it? Oh, disobedient. Your disobedient into learning is what caused your downfall. That's a narrative that they like to push, but I always question people that if God and Source did not want us to be inquisitive, to expand, why give us the capability? Why give you the capability? You could have been a dumb animal. And I don't no disrespect to animals. I'm just using it as a term, right? You could have a limited capacity to understand. Why give you the capability if it was not meant for you to use it? Why give you 2 arms if you only need to use 1? Just understand that you are not a mistake. The curiosity that you have, the interest that you have is not a mistake. You know, it is not a bug, it is the feature. Your higher thinking is not a bug, it is actually the feature. You are meant to think higher. You're meant to go beyond what I'm even sharing. And what I want to share is how you expand your consciousness, and how you use your energy to control your reality. And I'm going to give examples of that in our talk today on how people who we assume are influential, are powerful beings, politicians, actors, or whatever way you want to describe, whoever you want to call them, idols, right? They actually use the same things that you can use, but they're taught them with a huge trade-off. You have to serve a purpose in their plan. If you serve a destructive purpose, when people say sell your soul, that means that if you're willing to do anything, you can get a lot of power because your commitment to serving that negativity actually feeds the energy that they need to sustain themselves. And you notice that whenever one of them get out of line or doesn't keep their agreement, something happens to that celebrity or that leader or whatever. Something dramatically happens. Okay, those that don't want to play ball, that have agreed to say, I am going to do the most I can to keep negativity in the world, to keep destruction in the world, right? Once you go back on that, right, something's going to happen to you because you made an agreement. So those that are willing to sell your soul, and when I say that, I mean metaphorically, you're willing to do anything for power and it serves their purposes, they'll teach you all of this stuff too. Everything you do is you're not just mindless doing it. There is a purpose behind everything that is done. All right. You're not just mind. They don't just mind. When you go to a church and you do certain things, rituals and ceremonies, that's why they call them rituals and ceremonies. They are meant to do something. They're not just done because they don't want people just standing there looking forward. They want to actually use that energy for whatever purpose they want to use it for, which is usually negative. But that energy is still accessible to you, but you have to do a lot more work. To get it, to do it correctly requires a lot more work. If you want it quick and fast, right, then that means that, it doesn't take as long to accomplish it. Think of it as like fast food, right? You can eat, when you want to eat something nutritional, it takes a lot of effort to do that, right? Buying the correct ingredients, making sure you cook things the right way, or even just home cooking. It takes a lot of effort. But if you want to just like get something to eat really quick, you go to get fast food. And fast food is nowhere near nutrition. I don't even think it could be classified as food anymore, okay? Because it has no nutritional value in it. It's tasty, okay? Which again, that connects to your lower physical self. It's tasty, but there's no value in it and it's unhealthy. And that's the same way in the spiritual world, right? It takes a lot of work to be spiritual, all right? Yeah, it's got to be fake. It takes a lot of work to be spiritual, but to be, to get this power, if you just seek power, right, there's ways to do it that are a lot quicker. And that's what we talked about yesterday with the black eye versus the third eye. A lot of them are taking the fast route to their power and their fame and their fortune, right? That's what you mean. That's what it's meant by selling your soul. Okay. Does anyone remember where I said the seat of the soul is yesterday? Does anyone remember where I said the seat of the soul is? I said yesterday that the seat of the soul resides in the pineal gland. The pineal gland is the center, is a small gland in the center of your brain. That's what referred to spiritually as the seat of the soul. So when you sell your soul, right, you're actually giving your power over to another system. Exactly, Nicole. The third eye. The third eye is connected to the pineal gland. Right? I know people said, Bob, I thought there was going to be no math. I thought there were going to be no questions, but there are questions. There are questions. So let's talk about the chakra system, just as a recap. All right. And we should know this because I keep repeating it. Okay. All right. So we have that root chakra, and we have the sacral and the solar plex chakra. Those chakras are important because you're supposed to be here now. You're supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be anywhere. Your presence is a present. Your present here is your gift from the source. This is your final state before you evolve into that ascendancy, that transfiguration to your higher self. So you have to be here now. You have to experience this reality now. You have to, I don't want to say pass this test because there's no pass or failure, but you have to understand the nature of reality before you move on to the next part. So that's why you're here now. You need to understand that, okay? So the problem comes in is when we overstimulate these lower chakras, is when we get into a lot more issues. And I said before that the moon is actually an artificial satellite that actually overstimulates the lower chakras. Some people call the moon a soul recycler, which means that, it keeps you in this karmic wheel of coming back here again. And that has some truth to it, but you can evolve past that. So for those of us that are planning on dying, for those of us that are planning on dying, all right, do not go towards the light. That light is a false light. You don't want to go towards the light. That will recycle your soul. And we can talk about that more in videos, how that is a false light. Okay? All right? And we are eternal, but we have to lose this physical body at some point. You can keep it, but that's a whole nother process. That's a whole nother process. You will rather shed this body and continue your journey because your next body, all right, may be your crystalline body. So we have our lower chakras, okay? Then we have that heart chakra, which allows us to bridge, to transition into our higher chakras. I'm going somewhere with this. Hang on with this. Hang on. I'm going somewhere with this, okay? That we move into our higher chakras by opening our heart to love, okay? So as we open our heart to love, we move into our higher chakras. One of the big challenges to really see if we moved into our heart chakra is the throat chakra. Do we say things grounded in love? It can be negative things, it can be positive things, but do you say them from a place of love? Okay? That's how we know we're moving into our higher chakras. You would think, why wouldn't the chakra be lower? Because I love myself. Okay, so the solar plexus chakra is your willpower. And we're going to come back to that later on. But if it was before, if that came before, because you could be built any kind of way, but if that came before the heart chakra, it'd be like, oh, I love myself, right? Or if it came before the sacral chakra, right, which is more of your presence, right? I love this environment. I love things, okay? Or if you are in your lower chakra, you can be like, oh, I love surviving. I love fighting. I love defensiveness, okay? But when you move to that heart chakra, the heart chakra brings us to the point of love. And that is the highest version of source. God loves you, source loves you. Okay. That's that the highest energy is love. So when you're hearing about a being or deity that is slaying everyone but some chosen person, then you know that something is wrong with that scenario. Something's wrong with that scenario. How can a God of love only love you? Only love a certain group of people? How can the God that purposely creates everyone and everything only loves a group of people or a certain group of people, right? And not love all of its creations? And then says that you must love the people that it loves more than you love your own people. You really have to think about what people are asking you to do. You really need to think about what people are asking of you. That this deity, this being, this supernatural being created everything, but you are less in his eyes than something it favors, and it created it too. It doesn't make any sense. All right. I guess people can take it all kinds of ways. Like if you have children, right? You try to be fair to all of them. You love them all equally. There may be some that you relate to better, but you don't want to punish and hurt the other ones normally because you relate to one more than the other one. You can look at it that way, but I don't think you would want violence and hurt on that one. You wouldn't tell one of your children to harm the other child, not if you operate in pure love. So even the narrative is kind of crazy that religions insist that they're the only ones that this being, this God loves, and it despises all of its other creations. So it seems like that's more of a man narrative than a divine being narrative. But we fall for it, right? Because we want to feel special. We want to feel special. So, of course, God is going to punish you on my behalf. All right? God's going to get you on my behalf because I'm special. You're not special. I'm special. I guess it fits your narrative, so why not go with it, right? Why not believe that God loves all and everything? And that's how you move from that heart chakra to the third eye chakra, because the third eye chakra shows you the different perspective and deeper meanings to everything. It gives you a deeper understanding of things. Okay. That's what the third eye chakra do, but it comes from the heart chakra. And now stick with me. We're going to get to the palm chakras, but I want to go through the other chakras to kind of give you an idea of how it all works together. Okay. So when you have the heart chakra open and you to move past your lower chakras of surviving, struggle, defensiveness, and you move more into your loving chakras through the heart chakra, you get a deeper understanding of people's perspective. You actually want to listen to people and see their point of view because it's operating out of what? Love. It's operating out of the love chakra. All right. So now you want to get a different perspective. You want to see it from love. You want to not that you agree with it, not that I want to do a video. I really want to do a video that I want some people to go to hell so bad. Ooh, I want people to go to hell so bad. I really want some people to really be punished and burned and beat. I really do. All right. But that's my lower energy. I understand there's no hell. There are lessons. And even if some people disgust me and make me angry, right? I have to have that third eye open to have some understanding of maybe something went on in their life. As they like to say in the street, maybe somebody hurt them. We say in the street, who hurt you? So maybe that's it, and that third eye gives me that. Now, as I use that heart chakra and move into my crown chakra, the oneness of all, that we're all connected. Even though I'm gonna do a video. Probably talk about it tomorrow. How I really want some people to go to hell. I really want some people to go to hell. And I'm working with that. I'm working with that. Trying to understand, trying to show grace and hold space, right? Because I know in my crown chakra, okay, that we're all connected. All right. And so that is the work of this journey, right? You see so much going on, and so much of it wants you. I really wish there was a being that came down and said, you wrong, and you wrong, you going to hell, you going to hell, and you going to heaven, and you right. And then I wish it was that easy. That there was some great judgment that set everything straight. But wouldn't it be that we would be held accountable too? Wouldn't it be that maybe you would not meet the line? I know I'll make it. Maybe you wouldn't make it. Maybe the same thing that you don't show grace for would be, something that wouldn't give you grace. So that's the work. That is the work we do. That is the clearing of the chakras. That's why we must discuss the chakras as we move into how we interact in this world. How do we manipulate this world? And that's where we get into our other chakras. We talked about the zeal point chakra, how we have that communication, how we open that chakra, right? So that we connect to our ancestral, higher beings, aliens, higher self, whichever way you describe it. Let's not get into a semantic word game about how we describe it. And that's the problem with a lot of people, that they want to argue the points of how we describe something and miss the message of things. They want, like, if you take the Noah's Ark, here in the South, they built a building that is supposed to be a representation of Noah's Ark. And so the story of Noah's Ark is telling us that everything on the planet was put in one boat. Your rational mind knows immediately that's a lie. That is a lie. But the problem is they try to tell it as the truth, which makes you skeptical that they have any intelligence at all. If it was shared as a parable and as a story or as a metaphor of how God protects and covers and warns you, I think it would receive much better. I think it would. And this is why a lot of people get turned off about religious teaching, because it asks you to suspend critical thinking. It actually asks you first to suspend any intelligence. And that most people, that alarm goes off in their head, and then they disregard anything you say after that. Now, I know you guys done heard my Santa Claus conspiracy theory. All right. And for those that don't know my Santa Claus conspiracy theory, it goes like this, right? When you're told that there's a Santa Claus, and then you grow up and you realize that there's not a being like that. There's not someone that can climb down a chimney. There's not someone that goes around the world in a few seconds and gives everyone gifts and rewards the naughty and rewards the good and punish the naughty. When you realize that the world lies to you. And like they say, you lose a little bit of your innocence. That's the whole point of it. That's the whole point of that story. So that you lose your innocence at some point when you realize that the world is full of lies. Stop lying to your children. You're not doing them any good. That doesn't do anything good, but actually ruins them to be skeptical, or sets them up to believe more incredible things. So that's my Santa Claus conspiracy theory. All right, that is actually a reason to why they would want to lie to you. If y'all say Baba who hurt you, I want to scream. I want to scream. If y'all say Baba who hurt you, did they hurt you? Okay, I'm just telling you as I see the world. Okay, as I try to examine the world and understand it. Okay, all right. So we're talking about the other two chakras or other three chakras, excuse me, that allow us to have more understanding of this world. So I gave everyone a chance on TikTok to come over and check out what I'm doing. And so I'm about to put up a picture. All right. And I'm going to put up a couple of pictures really quickly that I think is going to help us with our discussion here. And this is why I like working on this side, right? I want to talk about the palm chakras, along with our topic, how they're playing in your face with their palm chakras. The palm chakras are two chakras in the center of your hand. If you don't see them, right, it doesn't mean they don't exist. You normally don't see the wind blowing or air blowing, right? They are different colors, Nicole, depending on what you're doing with them. The palm chakras actually modulate their colors depending on how you're working with them. Okay. Now, I'm trying to make this crossover to them being used in public settings and how you can, how they're playing in your face, right? There's a couple things I want you guys to look at, right? One is, let me find it really quickly. Okay. Everyone knows this chakra here. And let me bring up my notes. Now, you may not think this is a chakra. It is the open palms. Sometimes the third eye comes through it, representing the eye of providence, money over everything. If you don't know what this means, money over everything. You may think of it that way. When you see celebrities and people in power, and you rarely see, normal people walking around, and you say, "What's up, Baba? Money over everything." You rarely see that normally. All right. People just don't greet each other like that. But whenever you see people of power and celebrities, you'll see them do this, right? One assumption of that is that they were part of the Illuminati, and they're actually representing the eye of providence, which is on your dollar bill, right? And it actually, when you look at that Latin phrase on your dollar bill, it says that he approves of our undertaking. So maybe that's one layer of understanding. And as you move through understanding things, you're going to have to understand there are different layers to a lot of things. I'm going to answer the comment in 1 minute, right? So that's money over everything, one layer of looking at it. But it actually is the palm chakra that is being reflected. And that chakra, right, when you do your hands like this, right, it is a maximal receptive state, energetic state. It's pulling energy into you. This is a receiving chakra. That's why it's related to money, wealth, and prosperity. When you do this, you're pulling the energy through these chakras to your energetic body. That's actually what that is about when you see people doing that. We're going to give a workshop on chakras, on the palm chakras. So you guys need to join the newsletter, and I'll be announcing that workshop so you can learn how to work your palm chakras if that interests you. Let's move on to the second thing you'll see a lot of wealthy and influential people do. If you haven't noticed it, you're not paying attention. And you probably haven't noticed a lot of things that people do because we don't normally pay attention to things. And then when we hear a conspiracy, a lot of us doubt it because we've been traumatized by Santa Claus. You see how I worked that in there? All right, let's move on to another way to use the palm chakras. See, if you have hung on to this long in the video, right, you're getting the knowledge now. I told you we're going to get there. We are going to get there, right? Let's move on to our favorite president. All right, let's move on to and he actually uses a lot of palm chakra energy. He actually uses a lot of it, okay? Let's see. Let's talk about this one here. Okay. If people remember when he got shot, the first thing he did was this. Can we see this? First thing he did was this. Okay. And that's the image I'm showing for those that are on TikTok. All right. The first thing he did was this. Okay. That is a palm chakra. That activates the palm chakra too. Okay. So remember I told you this is receiving. When you close your fists, this is a defensive measurement. This blocks energy. This actually blocks energy. It's a projection through force. Now, our hands are how we maneuver in the physical plane. All right. So our hands are how we operate in the physical plane. It's also how we operate energetically in the spiritual space. It's through the extension of our palm chakras and our spiritual arms, if you want to call them that. If I do this, you immediately know in the physical world, I'm either going to protect myself, or as we say in the streets, I'm going to peel your head back down to the red meat. I'm going to knock your cap back. It is the same in the spiritual space. When you do this, you're putting up protective energy. Pay attention. Please pay attention. Because some of this can kind of aid you in your journey if you know how to use your palm chakras. Let's look at two more. I'm going to look at two more hand gestures, if you want to call them, that are really activating the palm chakra energy and how they're playing in your face. I say they're playing in your face because they're actually showing you actually what they're doing. Like, say you get shot, you doing like this. You running for cover. Unless you built a different kind of way, unless you understand, unless you have accepted that there's power out here, that you can master it in some way. Then when I'm teaching people, I always tell them, you got to know that you know that you know. There cannot be no doubt. There cannot be no doubt in this, right? When we look at Christ consciousness and walking on the water, we see the story of an individual having no doubt, walking in a true divinity, telling another individual, you can do it too. That individual doing it, you go read your Christian Bible, doing it until it looked around and started doubting it. All right, people say, well, he took his eyes off of Christ. No, because Christ said often, your faith has set you free. It's about you, right? You have the power. You will be able to do greater things, okay, than I can do, or I have demonstrated. Okay, so it's about you. But when you know that you know that you know, right, your instincts kick in and you immediately go to your spiritual teachings or your energetic beliefs. So normally when someone is being assaulted at that degree, they should have normally ducked. He had to be pulled down because he immediately went to activating the palm chakra in a defensive position to block the energy. Can't say I didn't tell you. Cannot say I did not tell you. Push that muffin back. Now, I can tell you, give you the examples of how it's being used, how they playing in your face, how they're showing you everything. Whether what you do with it is on you. If you don't want to study it, if you don't care, then that's fine. If you're more interested, then, sign up for the newsletter. Let's attend one of the classes and learn how to activate your chakras, how to clear your chakras, how to use them so they become natural to you. Let's look at one more. Well, we're going to look at two more. And then I'm going to go into, let's look at Angela Merkel. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Angela Merkel. She was a political leader. She often, make sure I get the right notes. Uses her hand, to those who can't see, place her hands like this. Okay. As opposed to like this. Are you guys following along? I'm telling you, are you understanding this? All right. Placing the hands like this. This focuses the energy inward. This focuses the energy inward and creates a contained field between the palms. We often do this. Why do we do this? Okay. Focus the palms energy inward. This actually projects calm confidence. It signals control and certainty. It's like saying, I am centered. I am not chasing. When you are engaging in anything that you want to accomplish, by using your palm chakras in this way, and you see a lot of spiritual teachers do this too. We can get into the spiritual shape of it. Okay. And we do that in our deeper discussions of it, right? But this says, this focuses that energy inward. I am centered. I am not chasing. Let's see what the notes are. How we doing on time? We got plenty of time. All right. I thought it was going to be longer, but now before we discuss the next chakra, and those that are on TikTok, you cannot see my imagery, so you need to come over into YouTube so you can see what I'm posting here, right? I want to bring up this image. Okay. This is electromagnetic breakdown of the chakra energy, because not only do the palm chakras are not only are they energetic centers, but the energy radiates through each of the digits, each of the fingers. The energy radiates out from the palm, and this is where you get into your mudras. All right, by manipulating your hands in certain ways. If you know anything about mudras, this is part of the palm chakra system. Okay, we'll be doing this in class. I'll announce the class soon. I'm trying to free up some time in my schedule. There's so many things that I do that it takes up a lot of time, but I'm grateful that I'm sharing this with you guys, because maybe someone will use this in their journey and have a better understanding of their journey, right? So what now we're looking at on YouTube is the electromagnetic readout of the various digits. And if you know anything about mudras, you've seen them do certain things. You can believe they're just making it up. I mean, this stuff goes back hundreds of thousands of years. So if you want to believe that, you may not even believe in meditating, and you are definitely in the wrong place. If you don't believe in chakras, you are in the wrong community. Go check somebody out twerking or something. If this does not, but my point is, I promise I would stop being so mean. Okay. But I get a little frustrated when we can't see the things that are in front of our face. We can't see what's in front of our face. They are playing in your face with movies. They're playing in your face when they interact with you. And a lot of us, and I don't expect this out of light workers and star seeds. I expect it out of Gaians or NPCs, but star seeds and light workers, you guys, this should be resonating with you. This should be what you have been looking for to continue your journey. You are awake. Now you're learning the lessons. So I'm bringing up this chart because I'm going to blow it up so I can see it. But if you look right at the thumb here, it says willpower. Okay. That is connected directly to which chakra? That thumb chakra is connected right to the solar plex chakra, and it represents willpower. Okay. If we look at our favorite president, Obama is our forever president, and Trump, welcome, knowledge, wisdom, and truth. Hey, I checked out your TikTok, and I can't wait to have you come up and be part of our discussion. Knowledge, wisdom, and truth. Thank you for joining us. But you really, be sharing information on, and I really want to have a deeper discussion with you. So let us know when we can make that happen. I know you're still getting comfortable with actually putting yourself out here on this media. And as we said before, they brutal. They're not so brutal here on YouTube, but TikTok, whoo, that's a hot platform. They are mean over there. Somebody's giving some bread to the first 5 people DM them what God did. Jerry Rodriguez is giving somebody some bread. Y'all jump on that. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the palm chakras, and specifically this movement here. you will see. I said Obama's is our forever president. Trump is our favorite president. If you follow this stuff and if you're part of this plane of existence, then you get the joke. Okay. If you see our favorite president do this a lot, and remember I told you that he is a master of the palm chakras. You will often see him do this. We think this just means good job. Remember in the movie Hancock, there's a scene where Will Smith says, good job. And people think, oh, I'm okay, this is a good job. When you see people doing this in public settings, it is activating the palm chakras. And I showed you on the other chart, it's the willpower that is activating. Let me get to it. And it is an approval signal. It is a projection gesture using the energy of the palm chakra to tell you to support, to tell you to approve. It is acting on you. Most of this energy is acting outside, but this is the act on you. It's almost like the wand telling you that I align with you. We're connected. This is how he has built such a strong, some people say cult. Watch people's hands. Watch their hands. When I do this, thumbs up, I am gaining support from you guys. When someone does this, a leader does this, you don't see other people walking around doing this. When you can do it, but if you haven't worked on your palm chakra, it doesn't mean anything. Like, okay. But when you have done the work on your palm chakra to release the energy, I align with you. Now, does Trump have chakras? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. A lot of them are unbalanced. But you can activate these chakras independent of being clear. I encourage people to, in my work with them, is to be spiritually aligned in what you do. But you can operate this stuff without that alignment, that spiritual connection. You can be connected to other things and still be able to operate a lot of this of what I'm showing you. Well, Arma, I'm sure you have a page where you can explain what people are doing, but I don't know why you're here. But I know you won't be here long. It's amazing. They gonna tell me what they're not doing. I'm done did all the research. Nicole, you knew I was gonna do that. You knew I was gonna do that. All right. As much research, as much downloads I receive, you want to come here with your theory? Take your theory on your page. So, again, we were talking about the palm chakra. I'm gonna bring these up. I can give you moderator rights so you can do that. We were looking at the palm chakras. I'm bringing it up again. Specifically, the individual digits in regards to the palm chakra and how it all relates to the full chakra system. You've seen the examples of how I consider them playing in your face because they actually are showing you everything they do to manipulate your energy, to control you. There are a lot more ways they are doing it, but we are just only concentrating on the personal energy that we have immediately access to. You have your own personal control of your energy. If you want to be part of maybe understanding and being able to use your palm chakras, sign up for the newsletter. I will be sending out a link to the workshop on the newsletter. I got to find a day that we're going to do it, and I'll be announcing it on the newsletter. So go to the link and sign up for the Starseed Awaken newsletter. We are a conscious collective working to raise our energy. If you are awake, it is time to join the conscious collective and aid us in the journey of raising our energy, raising your own energy, learning more about your purpose and your mission. So make sure you're signed up for that newsletter. That makes you a part. See, you can be part of the conscious collective by just subscribing here. That's one way you can engage and setting your notifications and, being part of these conversations. Or you can subscribe to the newsletter and start getting involved in more of the teachings, more of the classes, the one-on-one, the mentorships. But I don't think you can be part of a conscious collective just by being awake. We're supposed to gather our energy together and help raise the consciousness of humanity. So I want to invite you to be part of that, okay? I try to get on here every day around 8:15 and have a live conversation with the Conscious Collective. So for those that are subscribed, please set your notifications so that you know when I am coming on. I'll post the thumbnail, set that notification so you'll know exactly when I'm coming on and you can be part of this discussion. If you want to talk more, I'm giving out, we can have a free consultation call. You have to schedule it. There's a link to schedule it. And that way we can talk more about where you are in your journey and what exactly, your questions are regarding that one-on-one. There's also our Patreon community. I'm posted on that where people can kind of do a self-paced studying on there. I need to put more work on there. I'm going to try to be more diligent with that, where you can do your self-paced study on your own. What I really do is kind of do graphic charts on the discussion, on the slides that we had. So it's very easy to digest over on the Patreon community. And I go into a little deeper breakdown. So that is my discussion on how they're playing in your face with the palm chakras. I think we covered a lot of things. It didn't take as long as I thought it was going to take, but I hope it aided someone in understanding, the different things that are being done out there. The reason that the rich, and the thing is, like I said earlier, that if you're willing to do anything, you can gain that same type of power that they have. That is a more negative path to go down. That's a more negative path to go down, as opposed to doing the work and raising your vibration and gaining access to the same gifts. So I'm building a system day to day. Yes, learning about it. Yeah. So, in closing, I want to thank everyone that allowed me to share my perspective on this subject. I'm waiting to make sure I don't miss anything. I hope you have a clear understanding of the palm chakras. I know that most people only talk about the 7 chakras, and a lot of people don't really have a deep understanding of that. But if you've been following me on that, you have a better understanding of each chakra and what energy it holds. And now we're talking about the palm chakra to kind of help you be able to manipulate your environment the way you want to a little bit better. But again, love and light, thank you for joining us. I'm ending it up, Nicole, but thank you. All right. I appreciate those that allow me to share my perspective. I want you guys to come back tomorrow about 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. Please join me here on YouTube, TikTok. Join the Conscious Collector here on YouTube so you can be part of the images and stuff I put up, that you can see what I'm working with. See what I'm working with. Okay. I want to wish everyone love and light in their journey. And additionally, I want to wish everyone health and wealth in their journey also. You guys have a great day.